Hello, Terry. Welcome to the Monday after Christmas. How do you do today?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing all right, I guess, with a little bit of math problems this morning, but we'll get that corrected.
Yep. Looks
Can't
good.
skip a race, so I actually have to skip a race at the end because I can't skip a race. I had over budgeted myself on our $100 challenge. What did you do for the holidays? Any fun?
Oh yeah, we had my kids and some of my grandkids over on Saturday, and had a really nice dinner. My wife did a lot of work. She cooked a turkey and a ham and stuffing and potatoes and sweet potatoes and just all the trimmings.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the 49ers won. I was really happy about that. The three games that I kind of made references to you guys on Friday, two of them won. The Raiders actually, I don't know if you saw that, but they got beaten the last couple of minutes of that
Yeah,
game.
I'm all too familiar with teams getting beat in the last couple seconds. 4 of my last 6 losses were all in basically the last possession for the other team.
Yeah, that happened to Dallas, didn't it?
Well, they won and they beat me because the guy from the Eagles fumbled and they kicked the field goal that put him up by 6 instead of 4. It's just been a tough beat, man. But thankfully, I did win some fantasy games, so I'm locked in to win hopefully at least $1,000 next week, maybe as many as 3,000. So fingers crossed that all goes well. It's a long year and it's been it's an arduous journey for sure. I hung out with the family as well. Watched a little bit of the Elvis movie last night. What's up, Charles? How are you today? Good to see you.
Go
and
Niners.
Have you seen that Elvis movie?
No, I was thinking about watching it this week. So good.
It's okay movie, but I just when I see movies like that, I just get to wondering. I tweeted about this yesterday. It's just how destiny works. How does somebody become Elvis? You know what I'm saying? Was it his fate to become Elvis? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, was he born to become that? Or did he make himself that? To me, that's the $1 million question.
Or did Colonel Parker make him that? So
I think he made himself. I think that he had the talent. Colonel Parker helped him, but also seemingly robbed from him too. But it's, I guess that's pretty commonplace in that business, at least back then, right? Poor kid, probably not the smartest guy.
No.
And then you got a hustler who took advantage of him, right?
Of course, they never went out of the country except for to Canada because Colonel Parker was not a legal resident of the United States and he was afraid he couldn't get back in. So that's why they never went and toured anywhere in Europe or anything else. So,
Well, fast forward to today, and that wouldn't have been an issue, right? All right. No. Let's go to race number 1 at Santa Anita. That's what we're going to do today, Terry.
Yes.
This one is nice. We normally do Parks. Parks got canceled, so we're going to do Santa Anita today. A really nice card. Race number 1 is 1 mile on the turf. It is the Santa Anita Mathis Mile. It's a grade 2 for a purse of $200,000, Terry. So it's a pretty big dollar amount there. You are echoing a little bit.
Okay, then I'll mute.
At 1 mile on the turf course, you're looking for horses that have tactical speed. There's a little bit of a rail penalty here, Terry, and 2 and out. Play fair. Looks to me like all of the horses will be chasing the 7 here. Fractions will determine if you can go wire to wire, Terry. And do you see anything in our 1,000 simulations for races or the early speed that stands out to you?
Well, yeah, I'd like the 7 because I think it will go wire to wire. And of course, the only other horse that's got early speed to me looks like the 4. So
if we look at our way to the winner's circle map, this is how horses have won in the past, what it looks like they'd be most comfortable doing. So the E horses are horses that want to go wire to wire. Terry mentioned that 7. EPs can be pilots or co-pilots. Ps are either pilot, usually co-pilots. PC types can co-pilot or come back from coach. And the CR closers, they're always coming from coach. Not very many scratches in a beautiful day in Southern California. But we start off race number 1 with the 5 out. As you mentioned, Terry, that 7 horse has a pretty good early pace advantage. Come and catch me if you can.
Yeah, and he likes the turf. He's finished in the money in 7 out of 8 starts. That's pretty darn good. He's won 3 of those starts, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starter. He's actually tied with another one. And then number 3, I'm a Gambler. He comes in from Europe after winning 9 out of 23 turf starts, trained by Mark Glatt and ridden by Flavinian Pratt. And then I like number 1, Balnick Hoy. I think that's how you pronounce it.
That works.
Yeah. He's a deep closer and won his last race and loves this distance. He's won 3 out of 4 starts. And then my long shot is number 2, One More Bid. He won his last race at Del Mar and has a bullet workout. Has 2 bullet workouts in a row. And then I'm going to take $1 exacta and box the 1, 2, 3, 7.
1, 2, 3, 7 exacta box. I'm going to start off with number 7, 2, although I don't really think he's probably going to win, but Sumter does have that lone early pace advantage in here. Ran the top last race. Speed figure, and its resume says could be the same or maybe just a little bit better in round 2 off the bench. I really think the one horse is the one that's going to be tough to beat here. Balindnikov, as you mentioned, Terry, he's just been stellar at the distance. But when you look through the past performances, this guy's making the first start off a layoff. He's this close from being undefeated in 4 after running off a break. Number 3, I'm a Gambler, is a $1 million horse. Does have a group win in Britain, so it can face against this type of company. For me, when you look at these horses that come across from Europe to here, I have to pay attention to how they run on a good track. I think I'm a Gambler might like softer footing than what he's likely to see today. And then finally, number 6, Handy Dandy, was better early on in the last start, usually strong at the back end. So if you can connect a better beginning with the normal late run, this horse could be in the trifecta once again, as it has been 7 out of 7 races. Which brings us to race number 2. Race number 2 is a 1 mile race, maiden, $67,000. A 1 mile on the dirt course, Terry, does favor early speed with a rail and an 8+ bonus. Does look like there is a little 2-3 penalty here. I think this race does have a lot of early speed, Terry, up front. Can maybe favor the stalkers or the speed of the speed. What do you see in our simulated odds or our simulated early pace?
Well, yeah, that looks like that 3 is going to go to the front and try to go all the way. But I think there's going to be some of the horses close to get him. I don't think he's going to stay on top all the way. So
he won't be able to go wire to wire. All right. So the first thing we see here in race number 2 is that you do have a couple of speed horses. Neither of them are squared off, so they could prove to be false speed. The 2 horse here does get my left arrow. I think it might be the only one on the day. It's a left arrow horse that does have a +9 advantage at the half-mile marker and a plus late pace. So I think he'll sit behind these 2, maybe go by him at the turn. Good luck catching him, Terry. What do you say?
That's right. I love that left arrow horse, number 2, Purified. He ran second versus similar in his last race, and his best dirt speed's fastest among today's starters. And then number 1, Pinship. He ran second versus similar his last race, and the rail post is winning at an 18% clip. And then that speedster, number 3, Bletchley Park. He finished third versus similar in his last race, and the early speed running style helps his chances. And then long shot number 5, Migration. He finished in the money in 4 out of 6 starts this year and is ridden by Mike Smith, the veteran.
Yes.
And going to pass on a bet there.
So we have Prognosticos Express Cunite. It looks like in race number 1, he likes the 7, the 4, the 1, and the 3. Go on the race number 2. He likes the 5, the 6, and the 1. If like Prognosticos, you have some picks as well. Charles, I know you usually have something silly to say, so why don't you chime in with your bets there, my man? If you got anything that you like as well, please let us know. It's a community here. If there's something you see that we miss or that you really like that stands out, hey, share it with us. We're here to all try to cash tickets today. Pay for those credit card bills post-Christmas, right? I'm going to start off with the 2 horse, Purified. My left arrow horse does have that early late pace advantage. Going to be tough to catch once he gets to the lead. Number 3, Bletchley Park, made a big middle move in that last race. Big jump higher in its only other second start off a layoff. So if it can repeat that cycle today, could be very difficult to pass. Number 6, Pelagio, ran a little bit better fractions last out. This is another one that has the potential to move up the ladder in race number 2 after some time in the sidelines. And then finally, number 1, Princip, better times at 1 mile last time out than 7 furlongs in its debut. Gets the rail bonus, and today gets great jockey Flavian Pratt, who's probably happy to be back in Southern California and not riding in the freezing cold of New York Aqueduct, right? You're from Morocco. Well, thanks for joining us from Morocco over there. You guys had a wonderful, I'm sure you enjoyed the World Cup over there. Had a lot of fun. I saw a lot of folks partying in the streets. So I wish that we could have a similar type experience here in the United States, maybe in 4 years when the tournament comes over here. Maybe we can get that same enthusiasm, same joy, Terry, with our World Cup team. Young and improving, so it's possible. Race number 3 is a 1.1 miles on the turf. This one is the San Gabriel Stakes, probably named after those beautiful mountains right behind the Santa Anita track. If you haven't been there, definitely lives up to the world's most beautiful track hype. This purse is for $200,000 at 1.1 miles on the turf. Off the pace in the 6 races so far with a strong inside 3 bias, Terry, for race number 3. You see anything here in our simulations that stands out to you? I think you're on mute still.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I like the 6 horse. There's a lot of speed in this race, as you see. I mean, I think it's going to go for a closer to come in there.
So you think a closer is going to come in off of that? All right. Well, let's see what the way to the winner's circle worksheet says here. Does look indeed, like Terry says, that you do have plenty of early pace in here. You have 4 of the 7 horses that want to press towards the lead. The 5, the 1, and the 4 look like your most likely pace setters. Got to kind of be interesting with this 1 here. This EP horse with the early pace and also the ability to sit off the pace could get a really good trip. If not, these 2 PCs, which include your 6, Terry, will have a good shot to run by some tiring legs at the end. Is that how you see it?
That's absolutely how I see it. I see the 6, Prince Obama. He has finished in the money in 8 out of his last 10 races. He won 3 of those. He finished first in his last race, and he finished in the money 100% of the time at today's distance. So he really likes this distance. Then number 2, Master of the Foxhounds. He's never finished out of the money at Santa Anita. He's won 2 starts there. He's got veteran Mike Smith to return him again as he rode him last time. And his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 3, Dicey Mochara. He finished his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has won at today's distance. And then that 1 horse that you were talking about, Rip City, he's my long shot. He's finished in the money 77% of the times at Santa Anita, and he's won 44% of those starts. I'm going to do an exacta key box. I'm going to use the 6 on top with the 1, 2, and 3.
All right. So in this particular spot, I am going to start with number 1. Rip City is the lone EP horse, as we mentioned, on the way to the winner's circle worksheet. The Santa Anita numbers are on par with anybody else in here. So at the track 2, 9 times out, 4 wins, 3 seconds. Horse runs as good as anybody else. Why not take the 10-1 morning line odds? Number 2, Master of Foxhounds, did run the top last race speed figure. The only question for me, whether this one gets the win or not, is it does tend to regress a little bit in the second race off of the bench. And last time out, it put in some early pace peak numbers as well. And when you look at peak pace numbers, the horses regress. So I think Master of Foxhounds does regress here a little bit. The question is it enough for the others to beat it? Number 3, Dicey Mochara. This one is more likely than not to get better in race number 2 off the bench. So it's kind of got the exact opposite cycle trend as Master of Foxhounds. And then your top pick, number 6, Prince Obama, won the last out at 1.5 miles. Took a step back, though, in that race, some regression internally, and yet to win at Santa Anita and yet to win at the distance. I wonder if 1.1 miles is just too short for this horse. Maybe one of those horses that they might be better off shipping east to Europe where they get some of those longer races on the turf. That was my big concern there. Prognosticos from Morocco says race number 3, go with the 4, the 2, and the 6. Neither one of us have the 4 horse. So let's see if indeed he's got something on us there. In race number 4 is a 6 furlong maiden, $67,000 race, Terry. This one is going to be 6 furlongs on the main track. At 6 furlongs, Terry, early speed with a small inside 3 bias is the way to the winner's circle. There is an 8 and out penalty here. A lot of first-time starters, so there's really not a lot to talk about in terms of there's nothing to talk about in terms of simulation or our pace worksheet. So let's get straight to the picks.
Let me start out right here with number 3, Falston. He is a first-time starter. He's trained by Bob Baffert, has a very good workouts. Number 7, Worcester. He is a first-time starter also. The Dams had 2 winners out of 2 starters. He's another one trained by Bob Baffert. And then number 4, Sonoran. He is a first-time starter also, whose sire wins 19% with the first-time starters. Dam has 1 winner from 1 starter, and he's the 3rd horse trained by Bob Baffert. As a matter of fact, Bob Baffert has 14 horses running today.
He's going to make some money.
That's right. And I'm going to pass on a bet here. My long shot is number 1, Jam Session. He had trouble in his last race and kind of improved while on the dirt.
We missed the bets the last 2 races. In race number 4, 2, Terry passed. I did a 50-cent pick 4, 2 with the 1-2 with the 3, 5, 7, 8, the 2, 4, 5, 7, 12. Looking at Charles, he likes the 2 with the 1, 2, and 6. Again, proof that he's in my computer, 3, 4, and 5. And then the 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 10. His total is $36. Mine is $20. And then in race number 3, you did the $1 exact key box with the 6 with the 1, 2, 3. I did it with the 1 over the 2, 3, 5, and 6. Now we move on to race number 4. For my picks, Terry doesn't have a bet in here. I like that 3 horse as well, that Bob Baffert horse, Faustin. You just cannot get past that December 10th 4 furlong workout of 46 and 4. That's a blazing fast workout for an $800,000 Bob Baffert first-time starter. Number 8, Quincy Market, has one of the Barry Meadows Alpha Angles, 15% winner. When you're looking at first-time starters, if that last workout is a bullet, no matter what the morning line maker says, it's one that I think you want to put on your ticket. So I got the 8 in there. The last workout was indeed a bullet. Number 7, well, there you go. Another Bob Baffert horse in here. Has a series of 3 bullet workouts from November the 27th through December the 5th. So those workouts say he's another fast one. And then follow number 5, Yellow Brick. We'll stick with the first-timers here and roll with Flavian Pratt and Richard Mandela over the rail with the inside rail bias. So I'm going to go $1 double here. I think the 3 horse probably makes easy work of this field based upon that 1 workout. So I'm going to go 3 over to 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 12 because this next leg, Terry, in race number 5, looks like it can be a wide open race with a ton of horses in here. I think there's a couple scratches in this race, but if we go ahead and look at these simulated odds and the percent to early lead, there's 1 horse, Daddy Man Shines, that stands out maybe as a favorite. You see anything else in here that catches your eye?
No, I don't. And actually, the 13th scratch, that would have been one of the ones, the speed horses. So, like you said, this is a wide open race. I really just don't see anything else in there. So,
let's see what the weight of the winner's worksheet says for race number 5. As you mentioned, the 2 also eligibles are not in this race. So that means there is no horse that really wants to be the pilot or the co-pilot. Those duties might now go to the 6 horse or the 12 horse. Well, I'm sorry, second left arrow horse of the day. Normally a closer. That early pace is going to put him up front. Do got a first-time starter over here with the 7. And if you're looking for the late legs, it might be the 11. Could be the 2, Terry. I think this race is wide open. So explain to me why you picked who you picked.
All right. Well, I like number 5, Dandy Man Shines. He ran second versus similar in his last race. He has the highest last race speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 4, Maltese Falcon, comes in from Europe after finishing second in his debut race there. He's ridden by Flavian Pratt. And then number 2, Hawker, he was beaten only 2 lengths versus similar his last start and has a decent workout on December 21st. My long shot is number 8, Low Expectations. He finished third versus similar in his last race and likes the distance. And because I think it's pretty wide open, I'm going to do a $1 daily double bet with the 2, 4, 5, 8, and then with the 6 in the 6th race.
I like number 5 as well to start off the 6th race. I mean, the 5th race as well, Terry. That horse is Dandy Man Shines. Been facing a lot harder than anybody else in here. I again wonder if maybe a mile is too short for Dandy Man Shines. Looks to me like it might need a little bit more space. Number 2, Hawker, lacked late room in its last start. Otherwise, might not be in this maiden race at all. 2 nice workouts in between. I really think that horse might be the one to beat. Number 12, Zio Joe. That is my left arrow horse in a race that doesn't have a lot of early speed. It increased its speed figure in the last 3 and has a bunch of good workout stints. And I think it's like a 30-1 morning line. I think it's likely to be your pace setter now. Kind of interesting horse to me in here. I think it'll run better than 30-1. It probably won't go off at that odds. Number 7, Escape Artist. I do like the December 10th workout with some of the best turf pedigree in here. It was a tough call for me over that 4 horse, but the 4 comes from a second-tier English track, not one of the top-tier English tracks. Had it come from like Newmarket or Ascot or Goodwood, I would have upgraded a little bit. And for me, I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta because I don't have a key horse in here. 2, 5, 12. I really hope that 12 horse comes home the winner at 30-1 with the 2, 5 in second and the 2, 4, 5, 7, and 12. In case you're wondering, we do have a $100 budget. Terry really held me to it this morning because I missed the race and I was a little over budget. It's one of the reasons we were a little bit late, but that's all right. Race number 6 is next up on our docket. This one is back to the stakes racing, 1 1/16 miles on the turf, on the dirt course, excuse me. It is the San Antonio Stakes. It's grade 2 for $200,000. You got a short field here. You got a pretty heavy early price horse and Country Grammar, the 6 horse here, Terry. Interesting that you have 20 to win on your 1 horse. So you're going to absolutely have a, maybe a losing bet in here for sure if the 1 wins or the 6 doesn't. So what do you see in the odds here that makes you kind of go away from the 6 on your bet?
Well, first of all, that's a mistake on my part. It should be the 6.
Okay.
20 to win on the 6.
I was kind of curious about that,
Yeah.
but I figured maybe you're trying to have a saver bet just in case.
No, I wasn't doing that. I really think the 6 is not going to lose this race. He's my pick of the day, so I think that he's going to do very well.
And our way to the winner's circle pace sheet for race number 6 shows that there is enough early speed up in here to keep them all company. The 2, the 1, the 3, all of whom want to get to the front, although the 1 and the 3 probably could exercise a little bit of patience in here. So I think that could work to their advantage, whichever one decides it wants to kind of sit back behind that wall of speed. The 5 horse actually has the most late pace, a little bit more than Country Grammar. In a short field, if they can get away with short fractions, it could be dangerous to that 6 horse, Terry. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, I'll tell you that there is quite a bit of speed in here. And I think Country Grammar, he's a closer, and he's been knocking at the door since arriving from Europe. He's finished second in 3 races in a row. I think he'll be successful today catching those front runners.
I got bad news for you, Charles. Terry.
What's that?
Charles makes it his $50 win bet.
Uh-oh.
You better jump off that horse so fast, Terry.
Well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I like number 1, Hopkins. He's my second choice, has won 2 races in a row, and he's going for a hat trick. He's trying to grade a fair for the first time, so it might be a little over his head. Number 3, Breakfast Ride, has won 3 out of the last 4 starts. He likes this track. Then I like my long shot, Stiletto Boy. He's had plenty of trouble in his last race, so I'll throw that out. Gets a jockey change to Mike Smith, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then my bet's 20 to win on number 6. And then I bet a $2 exacta, 6 on top with the 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to go for a little bit of an upset here, Terry. I'm going to go with that 1 horse. I like speed horses. It looks to me like Hopkins is going to get to the lead, but he is taking that big speed step up in class. But I really like when speed horses stretch out for the first time. Had a really nice winner with that on last day that we were together. I'm taking that big step in class. Going to be the pace setter here. But what's interesting to me is Juan Hernandez gets off of Country Grammar and gets on to and stays on to Hopkins. Now, I don't know if that's a Hernandez decision or if that's a Bob Baffert decision, but that is kind of interesting to me. Country Grammar is the class horse, but man, does this horse love to hang late. 3 seconds in the last 3 races and 5 of the last 7. I'm fearful that he kind of looks around at the end or just does not catch the 1. Number 5, Haywood Beach, top last race speed figure. usually runs very well off the bench and likes the fast track, which you're going to get today at Santa Anita. 7 times on a quick surface, 3 wins, 1 second, 2/3. Finally, number 3, Breakfast Ride. Second off a layoff, has some really nice workouts in between races. This guy's really, though, going to have to up his game in order to compete with the top 3 horses, I feel like. And I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta. I'm going to go with the 1 and the 6. I'm going to hope that 1 beats Country Grammar, does hang once again. So I'm going to go 1, 6, 1, 5, 6 with the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Really, for the sake of the trifecta, the best outcome for me would be for Charles's $50 bet horse to run completely out of the money. Raced up, and that's kind of what I'm looking for with my bets, is a way that I can put a bets together where if it comes out in the right way, you get paid. And you're gonna, if Country Grammar wins, it's going to be a low payout for your exacta trifecta no matter what. So I'm trying to beat it. In race number 7, it's 6.5 furlongs on the hillside turf. This one's an allowance $72,000. Non-winners of 1. Purse is $72,000. Looks to me like, Terry, the way you want to go in order to win at 6.5 furlongs on that downhill is to be a little bit of a stalker with a bias from posts 4 and out. What do you see in race number 7's simulations in this big field? That stands out to you.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Looks like to me like that 2 is going to go to the front, and I think the stalker is going to probably catch that too. But it's a pretty wide open race, I think.
Yeah. So don't you learn your lesson from last time? What are you talking about? Learn my lesson. I'm whooping your ass this time around, Charles. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the way to the winner's circle for race number 7. Charles, right now, I can smell the smoke coming out of his ears all the way from Kentucky.
I think he means his last time he made a big bid like that. It did win. So
yeah, I know. I like to give Charles a hard time. You should see the gift he sent me for Christmas. So it's real swell, real nice guy. But we do have a lot of early speed here too. I found it funny, Charles. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. But there's a ton of early speed in here, which could set up nicely. And races like this, I kind of like the speed of the speed. The one horse will get to be patient because it doesn't need to be on the lead to run fast and to win. Got this lone PC horse, which really scares the hell out of me. So many times these horses, no matter how horrible they look on paper, they get great trips and end up winning. Terry, I think this race is wide open, so give me a sense of how it's going to end.
Yeah, I agree it's wide open, but I like this presser. Number 8, Big Beauty is my first pick. She ran second versus similar in her last race. Best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 11, True Patriot. She broke slowly last race, but only lost by 2.5 lengths. With a quicker start, she'll be really dangerous today, I think, and has a good 4 furlong workout on December 21st. Number 1, Flame Magoon. She has won 2 out of her last 4 starts and is 1 for 1 at Santa Anita, so perfect there. Then in my long shot, it'd be number 12, Dancing Dana. She finished 3rd in her last race, and she's returning to a sprint, which I think would help. I'm going to pass on the any bet here. I think it's too wide open.
So prognostics says, what are you talking about, Charles? But what he's talking about is when we got together on Friday, was it Friday? Saturday? I don't remember what it was, but we were talking about Gulfstream Park. No, it was Thursday. When we got together for Gulfstream Park on Thursday, there was a 4-horse in there that I completely tossed out and tried to beat him. And I think he won like Secretariat style. He was done. And all the other ones are just coming around the corner. So Charles loaded up on that one. I completely tossed him out, and I teased him the entire show over picking that 4-horse. So he did actually get to, he got the Animal House me. Thank you, sir. May I have another? All right. In race number 7, I am going to go with, I think, a cool name, Flame Magoon. It was the lone EP horse, as we saw on the pace worksheet. It's going to sit behind all those early speed horses and then go once they go around that corner, although the post position does hurt a little bit. Number 8, Big Beauty, your first pick, my second choice, gets Flavian Pratt. Will definitely be coming at the end, but another horse that we talk about today that just loves to finish in second. 6 times out at Santa Anita, 1 win and 4 seconds. Number 11, True Patriot, is making its classic 3rd start off a layoff. Charles's favorite handicapping angle. Has 2 nice maintenance workouts between races, but yet another one that just can't seem to find the winner's circle at Santa Anita. 3 races and 3 seconds. So the 8 and the 11 are really going to fight for who gets second. And then finally, number 9, La Dume Etoile. All the French people right now swearing at me. Will be coming at the end and should not be all that far off the pace. Terry, again, this wide open race. I don't really have a key horse in here. So I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta. I think this is one where I made a mistake and made it $1 earlier in the day, but Terry held my feet to the fire. 1, 8, 11 with 1, 8 with 1, 5, 8, 9 and 11. We go off to race number 8 at Santa Anita on this day after Christmas. Race number 8 is 7 Furlongs de la Brea Stakes. It's a grade 1 for $300,000. This race is going to be 7 furlongs. They don't run a whole lot of them so far, only 5. Early speed really won at this level. I mean, guys that got to the front usually did pretty well. Looks like there's a lot of pace on paper, but mostly pressure types, so there'll be plenty of room in the backstretch for horses to get into position. So I don't think it'll be as fast as it looks on paper. Terry, how does it look to you from our simulation standpoint?
Yeah, it looks like to me that the couple of horses that are going to go to the front is the 2 and the 3, and I think they're going to get caught. I think it's going to get caught by. Let me look at what I've got here on mine.
You got the 6 horse Fun to Dream.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what's going to happen. I think the 6 is going to catch them. So,
well, looking at the odds, we simulate 1,000 races using speed figures. The morning line favorite 5-2 looks like its true odds should be closer to 1-1. So if you get 5-2 on Midnight Memories, might be a good play. In race number 8, the 2 horse in here is scratched, right? So we don't have him. He had a big early pace advantage too. So that's a horse that was in my pick. So this 7 and a 3 really could benefit from that 2 scratching. Otherwise, everybody else just wants to kind of sit behind and be patient. Terry, you do like that 6 horse to come off the pace. I just don't know there's enough early speed for it to completely take advantage of those late legs. And you're about to tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, I think the big reason you're wrong is she's won 4 out of 5 career starts, and she has a really good work on December 22nd. And I think the one start she didn't win, she had some problems there. Number 4, Midnight Memories, has won 2 races in a row and is going for a hat trick. And her best start speed is fast among today's starters. And then number 1, Under the Stars, she's ran at second in her last race at Santa Anita, has a bullet workout of on December 19th. She's trained by Bob Baffert. And I remember when she ran last time, the people were pretty disappointed she didn't do better. Anyway, number 5 is my long shot. Ain't Easy. She ran 3rd in her last race at Del Mar, has a good workout on December 19th. I'm going to do a pick 4 here. I'm going to start in the 8th race with the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then in the 9th, I'm going to use the 2, 7. In the 10th, I'm going to use the number 6, I believe it is. Let me see here.
They have 6 up there, yeah.
Yeah, number 6. And then in the 11th race, I'm going to use the 1, 2, 5, 9, and 11.
All right. I am going to go with it with this hot pepper scratching out. That makes a big difference in this race. I feel like that was one that I did have in my picks. I like in race number 8, Midnight Memories, the 4 horse. It's won 4 out of 5. Won 3 out of 3 at Santa Anita and has a bunch of really nice workouts in between races. Number 6, Fun to Dream, does have that strong late pace advantage and should have plenty of, not so much anymore, but a few tiring horses to catch. Under the Stars was a tough call for me over the 3, especially now with the scratches in there. Really tough call between those 2. Been running against better horses and the works look strong getting ready for this spot. And number 3, the lone EP horse now really benefits from that 2 horse scratching. So just sits right behind the leader and waits to pounce. And if those fractions are too slow, it could be really hard to catch that 3 horse. That's my big fear with that 3. Race number 9, it is yet another 1 1/8 turf race for an allowance of $72,000. 1 1/8 on the turf. The profile of the winner favors horses that come from off the pace with the 6 races so far. The inside 3 horses have a ton of edge so far. But this, again, looks like a mighty wide open race here, Terry. I think the 13 and the 14, if I remember, in this race aren't involved. But if you look at it, it looks like the 2's got some speed, Terry. Anything else you see in here?
Yeah, you're going to be careful of that 10, it looks like to me. But I'm like you. I think it's pretty wide open. Although I think I only went 2 horses in this race because I wanted to keep my pick 4 down pretty low in the money. So,
And this almost looks to me like if there's an all race on the ticket today, this might be the one.
I agree with that. So.
And race number 9, again, the 13 and the 14 didn't make it to the cut today. They're going to watch and race another day. Again, another race shape here that could favor horses that get to the front despite the bias. You see only a few horses in here that have some early speed. The 2 and the 10, the 2 horses coming off the debut win, but did show a lot of early speed, went wire to wire from Mike Smith. The 10 horse, I think, took like 8 times to win its maiden race. So I would prefer the 2 over the 10 based upon that. But that 12 horse here, a little bit of a veteran, looks to me like it's sitting in a pretty spot in between the young, experienced speed and ahead of all of these closers, Terry.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, I like the number 7, though. My favorite daughter. She's won 2 races in a row at a mile, and she is a closer. So stretching out to a mile and 1/8, I think, will be very helpful for her. Then I like that number 2, Precious Baby. She won her debut race with Mike Smith in the irons, and he returns to right again. I think he's going to have a good day today. Number 10, Leisure Wear. She is always in the mix, finishing the money in her last 5 races. She's won one of those, which was the last race she ran in. And then number 12, Casey. She has done well on the turf in the past and showed some speed in her last race. I don't have a bet.
I have a trifecta in this bet coming up, but I really like this 3 horse in the spot. Ballet Dancing is the top closer. I expect this one's going to improve in the second start after a layoff. Number 7, which is, and if you look over here too, according to the 1,000 simulations, 4-1 morning line looks like maybe it should be closer to 2-1 morning line. I like my favorite daughter. I only have one daughter, so that's pretty easy for me. Winner 2 in a row. What's interesting here to me is Joe Bravo stays on this horse instead of the 9 horse, which I kind of find interesting. Number 12, Carrot. Was it Carrot? See, I don't know. Is the Lone P horse, and I think this one has an outstanding chance to actually get a perfect trip for its running style. And then number 2, Precious Baby, in that debut, did show a little bit of early speed advantage over the rest of this field. Not a lot of other fast horses in here, but I'm not a big fan of the win the maiden race and then step up to, like I said, allowance $77,000 race. It's a pretty big move. It's not an easy race here, especially with this big field. So a tough call for me here against a lot of other horses. I would have been much happier if Mike ended up with the top last race speed figure. That didn't happen. But I'm going to go with the 50-cent trifecta, 3-7 with the 3-7-12 with the 2, 3, 7, 10, and 12. Again, no key horse in here for me, but the 3 horse is damn close to being a key horse. Next up for us is race number 10 as we close in on the bottom of the Santa Anita card as we go back to stakes racing. 7 furlongs, the Malibu, grade 1 for $300,000. This one's only for 3-year-olds. Again, Terry, let's take a look at our simulations. And it looks to me like another race that's pretty open, except maybe that straight no chaser could get up to the front. Could have a hard time catching him.
Well, I think that 6 is going to be the winner. I really like the 6. As a matter of fact, I almost went with it as my pick of the day. So I think the 9 looks like he's got plenty of speed. Maybe the 1 will push him a little bit, but I think that 6 is going to get him.
Tavia, is a big, heavy morning line favorite. If you look at it, this race here, again, they got a lot of speed. Maybe the 1 and the 9 are going to get to the front. The 2 horse should sit patiently. And you got a bunch of pressure and pressure closer types with Tavia having a very strong late pace advantage. And if you combine early pace and late pace together, Tavia does look like it has a pretty significant edge here, Terry. You're going to tell us why you like Tavia as almost your best bet of the day.
Well, he's won 3 races out of 6 starts this year, and he has the highest last speed rating. He's trained by Bob Baffert, another one of the 14 entries he has today. He's ridden by Mike Smith. He has a bullet 5 furlong workout on December 19th. Boy, he just marks a lot of boxes off. And I just have a really good feeling that Mike Smith's going to do well today. Number 3, Apprehend. finished second in his last race, and the trainer in the last 14 days has a record of been in the money. Let's see, 7 out of 9 starts, winning 3 of those. And then I like number 1, Forbidden Kingdom. He finished third in his last race as a favorite, but this trainer wins 26% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. My long shot is number 8, Starava, whatever. He won his last race at Churchill Downs. He comes to Santa Anita and gets Flavian Pratt, which is pretty good. And I'm going to make a $20 bet, number 6, 20 to win.
Tabia. All right. I think Tabia, the 6 horse, probably is the class of the field. The one thing that concerns me for a horse that's probably going to go off at 3 to 5 is that it has too many stinkers in there for 3 to 5 odds for me. Number 9, Straight No Chaser, has a lot of early wheels, likely going to be the pace setter. And if the opening quarter here is 45 seconds or higher and it's on the lead, you might not catch him at 20 to 1. Number 1, Forbidden Kingdom, another that will compete for the lead, 50-50 that the horse improves second off a layoff, but some really nice workouts in between races hint at the better version in round 2. And then finally, number 3, Apprehend, is undefeated in 2 races at Santa Anita. Last time out, lost to Perfect Flight at Zia Park. Reverses those roles today. For me, the key horse in this race is that 9, just 20 to 1. Again, I'm looking for bets throughout the course of the day where if I hit one bet, it can turn around and pay for the entire $100 budget, or at least close to it. So I'm going to do $1 exact key box with the 9 horse here, the Straight No Chaser. See if I can get to the lead and maybe Tabia run out of the money with the 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 as the back end of that. And I could end up with an exacta that does pay for the entire day. So that's the whole goal there for race number 10. Finally, race number 11 is the final race of the day. It is in this wonderful card at Santa Anita. Too bad they're all not like this out there. But this is 1.25 mile quarters, downhill, hillside turf. This is the American Oaks. It is a grade 1, purse for $300,000. So far, they've only run 2 races at this distance on this downhill course, and both of them, surprisingly, were won wire to wire. So if you like speed, Terry, which ones you should be looking at here?
Well, you should be looking at that number 2 horse, and you should be looking at that number 11 horse. I really don't think they're going to go all the way, though. I think there's going to be a couple other horses in here that's going to give them some trouble. So,
well, I look at this race setup here, Terry, and you got a ton of closers in here. And you have absolutely none that have shown a history recently of going wire to wire. So that means to me, the pace here is not going to be that hot. When you look at the pace, Miss Ensign, the 6 horse, has a 10-point advantage, which doesn't look like it on paper. But when you run the numbers at the half mile marker, I think the 6 horse, Miss Ensign, or the 2 is going to be on the lead. They're not going to be running very fast. So it could prove to be tough. It could go 3 for 3 wire to wire, Terry. You don't even have the 6 in your picks, I don't think. But you're going to tell us who you do have.
No, I don't. I actually like the number 1 horse, Rhea Moon. And I really like this horse. I keep coming back to it. You know, she's never finished out of the money in her career. She's won the last 2 races, and I think she can handle this distance just fine. Then number 5, Bell Street Birdie. She came in from Europe and won her very first race at Del Mar, trained by Mark Glatt and ridden by Mike Smith. There again, Smith's on a good horse. Mm-hmm. Then number 9, Salama, comes in to Santa Anita from Aqueduct, has won 3 races out of the 4 starts and is trained by Chad Brown. And then number 11 is my long shot School Dance. She won 3 races in a row at 3 different tracks. And then I'm going to make a $10 win bet on the number 1 horse.
So, Charles, we're going to back up a little bit. In race number 7, Lakes, a pick 3, 3-8 with 2, 3, 9, and 12. That's a $14 bet from Charles. Mama, tell me which race are you talking about here, if you'd be so kind to follow up with me on that. So you like the Nakatami Ward horse getting shipped weeks ago. 2 nice works out, Santa Anita. Tyler Gaffleone back on. Number 1, prognostic said there's a jockey change maybe in the 5th as well. So I like in the final leg, I really liked, when I first went through the numbers and looked at it, the 6 horse, I said, this horse hasn't run all that well in the United States. But because this race lacks front runners, could be the pace setter here. And if you rewind through those European races, when it's won or done well, it's been forwardly placed. The 6-horse Vicensine will be forwardly placed today. Number 9, Salama. Interesting to me that Flavian gets off the 5 to ride this one. I don't know if that's a business decision because he wants more amounts when he goes back east to ride with Chad Brown, or if he actually thinks it's the better horse. We'll find out when it's over. Number 1, Ray Moon has a 6-point late pace edge, and we know for sure that the distance is probably not an issue here for this guy. And then finally, number 5, Bell Street Birdie won its U.S. debut with ease, and we know for sure that this horse has no problem getting a 1.25 miles because it's run the distance 5 times with 2 seconds and 2/3. I don't have a bet here because Terry held my feet to the fire, but if I do win some money across the way, I would do a $1 exacta key box if I won any money earlier on. I'd put the 6 on top with the 1, the 2, the 5, the 9, and the 11. So one will be a key box with those horses, Terry. That wraps up our picks for a strong day, a strong card over at, let's see, start of race 7 to 1. Race 1. Race 1 has already started, Terry? Are the races started? They started in 7 minutes, no? Maybe I'm wrong. All right, I think you're still a little bit on mute there. All right, so that wraps up. Let's take a look at our full card picks here. I'll shrink them down so you can see everything that we like in every single race. I will post all of our picks, our commentary, and our suggested wagers over at horseracingtoday.net. That'll be up in about 15, 20 minutes or so. If you're going to bet a little bit of college football with the bowl games in full swing, you might want to head over to our picks with the professor. It's got some nice picks over the day. Catch that up. There's a link in the description down below. There's also a link in the description down below where you can help support the show. Pick yourself up some great, fantastic. I mean, Terry couldn't look any better than he does in that. He does look a little better in the blue when it matches his baby blues, but Horse Racing Today gear, help us out. And then if you haven't done so yet, well, you got some time maybe off in the next couple of days, check out our past Horse Center shows. A lot of great interviews with Jamie, with Sean, and with Julie. She'll be back in the first of the year. Mike Smith, race number 7, Nakatomi on Tabia. Yeah, I mean, that horse is definitely a tough horse for sure. I think it's going to go off at 3 to 5 and does have a propensity to throw in some stinkers. If he runs his race, he wins easy. There's no question. Terry collects on that bet. Any final thoughts before we get up and out of here this Monday, Terry?
Yeah, I had a great Christmas with my family. I hope everybody else did. And if you like what you saw here, then you need to subscribe on YouTube and give us a thumbs up and a like. And go to Facebook, go to Horse Race Today, and give us a thumbs up there. Also follow us on Twitter and also Instagram. And I think we're on TikTok now too.
Yeah, Jamie and Julie are putting up some good stuff over there. It's only going to be more in 2023.
Yeah, everything's Horse Race the number 2 day. And so just have a good, safe week. And I hope everybody does really well whatever they want to do this week. So.
Yes, indeed. We hope that everybody has a fantastic week as we head into 2023. We do have a lot of great stuff scheduled or on tap for 2023. So like Terry says, make sure you subscribe and follow us on all of our social sites. Want to say thank you to Diane Johnson and to Jack Fate for the thumbs up on Facebook. Like Terry said, if you like them, give us the thumbs up. Facebook, YouTube, it helps us with their algorithms. No matter what you're doing on this day after Christmas, Terry, we hope that no matter what gifts that you're going to return or picks that you're going to make at the track. Well, speaking of which, tomorrow you and I will be back at Parks, provided it doesn't get canceled again. That'll be at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. But other than that, no matter if you're at Santa Anita today or Parks tomorrow, we hope that everything you do ends up in
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this Money Monday. We'll see you for Terry Tuesday.